You're listening to an Awkward Human podcast on the 5x5 network. If you want to find out more about this show and all the other cool stuff that we do, visit awkwardhuman.com. Hello and welcome to the Awkward Human Survival Guide. This week we're talking about
Pet Cemetery Plot Predicaments,
Neuro-drug Cocktails,
and Penis Whitening.
Hello and welcome to the episode. I'm Adam Dotches.
Are you one of those, new Amazon robots?
I've been listening to WaveNet a lot.
What is WaveNet?
It's Google's DeepMind voice synthesis processor.
Oh.
So I've been, you don't want to get into it, but yeah, I've been hearing that kind of tone a lot lately.
We have no special guest today.
No, that's not true. We have Thanos.
Oh yeah, you can see him if you are watching this on YouTube at youtube.com/awkwardhuman. I need to turn off my phone.
Wow.
Wait, it wasn't my phone. It was someone else's phone.
It wasn't mine.
Mine's off.
Yeah, mine's on vibrate.
As it would be.
Well, then where did that come from? Maybe it's that new computer I built.
That's what it is.
There it goes again.
Yeah, we just got invited to something. Anyway.
No, thank you.
It's just the three of us today on this lovely Sunday afternoon.
No, Thanos is here.
Okay.
Yeah.
He will kill you.
He's not going to talk.
The microphone is
For
on
the podcasters, they're not, the ones who don't listen to the video, they're not going to know.
I'm working on my TED Talk. Maybe he'll, maybe we'll take a break and he'll do that while I'm preparing.
Is this about the prostate?
It's about all sorts of things.
Okay.
It's really...
Not prostate, the sphincter.
Sphincter, yeah. I knew what you meant,
You're doing a TED Talk about sphincters?
No, about the penis...
Leaky penis.
Oh, right.
We talked about
leaky
that last
penis.
Week. Yeah, I'm working on it. I might have Lionel do it.
Leaky penis.
He handled it last week.
It's going to be a fun show, guys.
Yeah.
No, we're going to make it real boring for you, don't worry.
If you're not watching these episodes, last week you missed out on a 3-minute cartoon. This week, who knows? I guess you know that you're missing out on Thanos in front of a microphone. He does not have a lot to say, though. But Thanos, thank you for not murdering the three of us.
We could take him very easily.
What?
We could take him very easily.
He's got all the Infinity Stones. I don't know if we can.
Yeah.
That mic could take him out.
That mic could. That's a southern thing. Do they say that in Quebec?
What?
No, she's just referring to that Mike is the same size as him.
Oh, I thought she
You're
said
hearing
that
a phrase.
might could.
That's a thing?
Yeah, in the South, I know, especially in Georgia, they say that might could be possible.
Oh, no.
No, that doesn't need to happen.
No.
Yeah, they say that. I know plenty of
I don't
Southerners.
doubt that they say it. I just don't think they need to say that.
That's an
extra word.
redundancy. Anyways, so I have a lot of awkward things that happened to me this week because, was it last week we were talking about how nothing awkward happens to us anymore? Mm-hmm. I decided to step up my game. And
no, it wasn't. It was like a month ago.
Well,
you decided to step up your pussy.
It was like 2 weeks ago.
That's what.
Because last week
we went to the carnival.
I brought stuff.
Yeah.
And then the week before that, I think we forgot. But the week before that is when we talked about
fine.
it.
Well, time flies when you're 32.
So you're older than that.
So I've been trying to, put myself out there and be social because that's where awkward things happen, usually not in the home. And, this happened not because of that at all. But I sent my mom a Mother's Day gift, and I think I may have mentioned it on the show, actually. No? Okay. Well, I sent her an iPhone battery because I had already gotten her one, and Amazon emailed me a year after I got her the battery, to tell me that the batteries were overheating and could catch on fire.
Oh.
And so they were recalling them, and they were like, you should send the battery back. And I was like, the battery's in Canada with my mom. Can you just send me a new one? They're like, oh no, we discontinued all the batteries because of the issue. So they gave me a credit, and I was like, oh cool, I'll send her a new battery for Mother's Day. And then I also sent her a little pack of notes that say, you're on my shit list, because she is having a hard time keeping track of who she insulted.
You did tell us about that. I don't know if you mentioned it on the show, but that...
Okay.
She didn't mention it on the show.
So anyways, I thought
you should make those, and then...
I was like, but they exist already. Yeah, and they have things where you can rank how terrible the offense was and the cause of it and write in the offender, and it's pretty detailed, but it's very portable.
She'll use them more than anyone has ever used these before.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of the weirder part of the gift. And so I told her, hey, I sent you a Mother's Day gift. It's coming in 2 parts because Amazon Canada doesn't have the greatest shipping, so the shit list stuff was coming later. But I didn't tell her what it was because it was a present. And so she's like, so I got your present. It caused some confusion in the town. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, because she has a P.O. box, so she doesn't check her mail all the time. So she's like, I went to this movie screening, and I was like, oh, I have a few extra minutes. I'm going to stop by the P.O. box and check my mail. And
what could it be?
And she was like, oh, I have a box. It must be the present from Erica. So she takes the box, and she goes to the movie, which is not a theater. It's like a community hall where people like are sitting around waiting for the screening. And she opens it up, and everyone's like sitting around her being like, oh, what'd your daughter send you? And she pulls it out, and she's like, I don't know. And the person sitting next to her was like, oh, it's a vibrator. And she's like, I don't think so.
And because it came in a box?
No, it's because it's one of those more portable round ones, so it looks like a tube. And I guess they thought it was a vibrator. I mean, one thinking about it, I was like, I guess a vibrator could be shaped that way, but it's like flat on both ends and like it doesn't vibrate, so there's that. But they spent like fucking 10 minutes all like playing with it, being like, no, Marie, it's definitely a vibrator. Here's where you plug it in, whatever. And then the movie started, and then they all left.
But it never vibrated.
It never vibrated.
Did it have like a nice soft insertion tip or something?
I don't think so. I think it was flat on both ends.
But also, didn't it say it was an external battery?
Apparently, the packaging was not very descriptive. She said she then took it home and after like looking at every part, looking at like every part,
sure, but a battery
and like looking in the manual, she was like, "Oh, this must be an iPhone battery." I'm like, I also sent it with an iPhone cable. Like, so she could plug, it had a little one, she could plug it in on the go.
Maybe it plugs into your smartphone and syncs up with the porn.
Right. I think that's what they thought. They're like, oh, it's one of those new modern vibrators. You charge it through your phone, whatever.
I have is, why are these women so up on vibrator technology?
And men. Women and men. And they weren't
why do they all know about it?
They weren't like, oh, it could be this, it could be that. Maybe it's a vibrator. They're like, oh, it's a vibrator. Like, naturally,
They're very liberal up there.
I guess, but even liberal people shouldn't assume that a kid sent their mom a vibrator.
Usually it's the mom who sends the kid a vibrator. Yeah, I know a few
weird.
People whose parents got them their first vibrators. Yeah.
Well, we heard someone on the show tell us that.
Oh, really?
Didn't we?
I don't remember. I have one person in mind, but I don't know if that's true.
So, yeah, that happened. They all left right after the movie, and she's like, they never found out it wasn't a vibrator, so they all think that's what I have.
Is she just going to allow them to believe that?
Yeah, apparently. Okay.
And if they cause any trouble, she can put them on the shit list.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But what happened to you, though?
Well, to me, the other like slightly awkward thing that happened is that I went to this party last night. It was my coworker's birthday, and the theme was California Dreamin', which meant that you're supposed to dress...
Like the show?
Like the idea.
Okay.
So it meant that you're supposed to dress as like your favorite California icon.
California Dreams.
What show is this?
Don't wake me up 'cause I'm dreaming. No, you don't know that. It was like Saved by the Bell.
We didn't grow up here.
I don't know if it was a spin-off or if it was just a separate show. But yeah, it's a show like Saved by the Bell. It was about kids in a band.
Oh, no, I don't know that one. But so it was a costume party, and you're supposed to come as like your favorite California icon, right? And then, there was like a hot tub and a fire pit. And it was like an outside, like real chill kind of like, California party. And so me and Jacob were going to be at Disneyland all day, and we hadn't come up with a costume, and we're kind of like, whatever. But then we're like, is everyone going to be in costume? Should we come up with something? So we decided that we were going to be the dude from The Big Lebowski, because that way, what?
I said, oh, great.
Yeah. That way we didn't have to put a lot of work into it. And also we really wanted to spend the whole party in the hot tub because we had been at Disneyland all day. And we're like, we're not going to want to socialize with people at like 10 p.m. after 20,000 steps. Let's just go and sit in the hot tub. And then if they want to socialize with us, they can come in. So we're like, this will be perfect. We'll have our robes, and we like looked at pictures, and we wore like matching like gray shirt and black bottoms, which was like in one of the photos. We wore our sunglasses outside. The problem was that everyone at the party didn't realize that we were in costume, and so they all thought that we just lived in the house and we were wearing house coats. And everyone kept coming up to us being like, oh, do you know where the bathroom is? And like, oh, you're the other person who lives in the house. And then we'd be like, no, this is our costume. And they'd be like, okay, and just walk away. And at some point after this had happened like 10 times, we're sitting around the fire, and we were wearing like open, like it was fairly obvious. We didn't have the goatee though, which I think would have sold it.
Yeah, if you had a goatee on, that would have made more sense.
And probably then this other woman showed up, and she was the dude, but she had the goatee. And she lived in the house. So then that added more confusion because they thought everyone who lived in the house had dressed up as the dude. And eventually, after this has happened like 10 times, this very drunk, much older woman comes up to us and very confrontationally is like, why are you guys wearing bathrobes? And I go, oh, it's her costume more. And she just flips around and walks away.
That's a typical LA kind of an interaction,
And
I feel
was
like.
you didn't even let me finish my sentence. You were so aggressive about asking me about this. And you didn't even
And she was
care.
drunk, you said?
She was really drunk.
Okay.
And then she spent about 20 minutes later trying to get us to help her get an Uber or a Lyft. I think it was a Lyft. Even though we had already put it in for her and everything, she was like, oh, but it's a Nissan Sentra. Like, can you help me find the Nissan Sentra? And we're like, it's not here yet. And I was like, where was this when I was trying to explain what my costume was, bitch? She never got the car. Like, we left.
So no one was dressed as like a Lisa Vanderpump?
I don't think so.
And Eric Garcetti? Like,
no Eric Garcetti.
Wow.
No. A lot of the people, honestly, like,
a lot of ideas.
I had no idea what they were. It was obvious they were in costume. But then the other tough thing was that about half of the party was dressed for like an outdoor party in 60-degree weather. So they were wearing like nice clothes and like a lot of layers. So like the robe thing wasn't really fitting in with like that kind of vibe. Like people did more of a dressing up than dressing down kind of thing.
Is the Big Lebowski set in California?
Yeah.
Oh. I've never seen it. I
You
don't care
haven't?
to.
Oh, you don't care to?
No.
Okay.
It's not.
Yeah,
not on
the
my
bowling
priority
alley
list.
takes place is it like in Glendale or something?
Oh.
I think. And then the other awkward part of the night was that when we got in the Uber, well, first of all, when we're waiting,
Actually, I want to
See,
know.
I told you.
What?
She does Uber.
no, it was a Lyft. I keep saying Uber, but it was actually a
Oh.
Lyft.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out if you actually used Uber because that would seem dumb.
Well, I just heard an ad about
nowadays it's not as big of a deal.
Yeah,
but
I just
back in
heard
the
an ad
Kalanick
where
days-
it's like he was basically like this new CEO was like, we've done everything wrong and we're trying to fix it all. So
No.
the new
Okay,
good
CEO
for
actually
you.
seems to have empathy for some reason.
He's like, my
seems
dad
pretty
taught me to
cool.
do the right thing, and that's what we're gonna do now at Uber. And
Yeah.
I'm like, cool, so no more rape.
Yeah, I've watched a couple of interviews, and it seems like any of the problems that they're having are like legitimately. They seem to be old Uber, and he's trying to fix it, and anything that continues to happen is like an echo, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's I'm still waiting. I don't need to get in an Uber anytime soon, but it's but yeah.
I don't have the app,
and
and also I couldn't figure out how to get the car because my service was so bad. I didn't actually call either of these, so it's all irrelevant. But
How'd you get home?
But
Someone
wait,
else called it.
before we get into that though, I just wanted to know, Richard, who would you have dressed up for at this party? Since you have so many
I
ideas.
don't know any California
you
icons.
just named
Wait,
a bunch of
yeah.
people.
I named two.
But
I don't know. Like Angelina Jolie.
what about all
Would
the,
you
what
be
about
able
all
to pull
the
that
drag
off?
queens?
Huh? No. I wouldn't be able to pull it
I
off
found
at
out
all.
yesterday that both Valentina, your favorite, and Angina are from Los Angeles.
I don't
which
like
is the
Valentina.
only
Sorry,
I know.
Valentina. I know you're listening.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that was like we've never interviewed a drag queen. We should do that. Well, I guess
Yes.
Big Dick Bitch, but
I thought you did interview.
but not like a not
show
that's a
drag
different.
queen?
She's a drag queen. You can't. That's more of a somewhere on the trans spectrum. I'm not really sure what the best.
Well, she is trans, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about Big Dick Bitch.
Yeah.
That's what she goes by. Don't come at me.
Yeah. Well, I think she's actually she was trying to change that around the time that we
Oh.
interviewed her.
Never mind.
Well, she was trying to get out of she was getting into the music career. So it might be more in the, I don't know. The whatever we're supposed to say, Big Dick Bitch, please. That's what we want to call you. I just don't remember which one it is today. So
I don't know. Raisin.
That would be really good. That would have been so much more obvious than all the costumes I saw.
well, when he makes fun of himself in bad pictures, what he thinks are bad pictures, so he says he's a raisin. It looks like a raisin. So
But
I
it's
say
funny
that?
because
Yeah,
it's
you
a
said that to me 3
California
times.
raisin, and
Oh,
you would just have to be a raisin because you're in California. Like that's all you'd have to do. That's a good one.
Yeah.
yeah,
Or Chiquita. Is she based in California or is she Mexico?
The banana?
Yeah.
I don't think bananas are native to California.
I mean,
Or is it Guatemala? Where are bananas from?
It's Southern America. I don't think.
Yeah, Chiquita's from somewhere that's not
Costa
here.
Rica?
I don't know.
Oh, well, apparently their office is in Compton.
Oh,
Ooh.
but that's just where they import it, right?
I guess. I don't.
Maybe I'd go
Switzerland?
as-
Is this from Switzerland? What is going
No.
on? The headquarters are in Switzerland.
Yeah, but where are the bananas? Where do they grow them?
They're South American.
Yeah.
But maybe I'd go as like a Disney
There's some
character.
dirty shit in here.
It sounds like you have a lot of ideas.
Chiquita is not a good company, apparently.
What do they do?
I don't know, but they're
Okay.
there's just like this huge the biggest section on their Wikipedia page is titled Controversies.
Is it about the seeds?
Let's just pick one.
Is it about how they're not actually bananas?
Well, apparently they were abusing a dominant market position. That was their first controversy. In 1998, in May, the Cincinnati Enquirer published an 18-page section, Chiquita's Secrets Revealed, by investigative reporters Michael Gallagher and Cameron McWhirter. Yeah, we needed to know that. The section accused the company of mistreating workers on its Central American plantations, polluting the environment, allowing cocaine to be brought to Borneo on its ships, bribing foreign officials, evading foreign nations' laws on land ownership, forcibly preventing its workers from unionizing, and a host of other misdeeds. I guess they just didn't want to fit them all into this.
Is Central America considered like Mexico and stuff?
No, Mexico's North America.
But what's Central America?
Costa Rica.
Before I accidentally embarrass myself, I'm just going to read the correct answer.
Panama?
Yep, those two are in it. Belize, El Salvador, Guatemala, Nicaragua, and Honduras. Those are the.
I could have kept going.
Yeah, that makes
GDP
sense.
of
All those like little
203.73
islandy
billion.
type of places.
So the small places.
Yeah. See.
You want to know about the biodiversity of
No.
Central America?
No,
I don't.
that's okay.
So anyways, this is more of a question I have because of what happened with the Lyft driver. So we're standing outside.
But yeah, because Uber's the Chiquita banana of ride sharing, apparently.
We're standing outside waiting for the car. And of course, people are shouting at us, go back to sleep, because they don't get that we're in costume because of our robes.
It's like, was it that late?
No, this was on the way to the party.
Why does nobody yell that at me? I'm out in my robe all the time.
You're not out in your robe,
I walk the dog in my robe a lot. You're just not here.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I don't want to change.
No, that makes sense.
I'm like, I gotta get.
But like, no one seemed to pick up on the fact that we were wearing the exact same thing. Like, no one puts that much effort into it if they're not putting effort into it because they're just going outside in the robe.
I don't know. They probably thought you were in costume. People just like to yell stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like they yell like faggot, you know.
Yeah.
They just really like yelling.
Or I
things.
love your shoes. Well, I get that one.
Oh,
with the light up
yes,
shoes.
that's true. That's true. You do get that a lot.
We were not left alone on that walk home when I had those shoes on, so I learned my lesson.
Anyways, so the Lyft gets there.
There's more. Okay.
There's three of us standing on the sidewalk after being yelled at for being in our robes. And the car pulls in. Jacob gets in the front. We were with Kobe, and he gets in the back. I put one leg in the car, and the car starts driving off.
Oh, no.
And like,
why?
It happened so quickly, but
did the guy?
Not
Are
so.
you sure you didn't call an Uber?
Not so quickly that he didn't have time to stop after my first I was like, I just didn't know what to do because
he was like, "Why is there a bird in the car? I have to leave."
Did you give him 4 stars for that?
Well, that was going to be my next question. Like, what do you do with that? But like, I had one leg in the car, and for some reason, I didn't think, I could just take my leg out because I was like, then the car's going to leave without me. So I was kind of like skateboarding it. Like I was like,
oh
holding
my
the car
god!
and I was like, stop, got it. It took like 4 screams.
Were you in the front or the back?
In the back.
Okay.
But still, like, okay, maybe he didn't see us, whatever. But you pull up really slowly when you have a lift. You notice the amount of people. Then don't fucking leave when one of them's not in the car.
Well, especially when the door's still open.
Well, yeah. And it's not like it was one of those things where, like, I was taking a while getting in the car. Like, I had just started entering the car. So he just, like, fucking left. And then he felt really bad. And he was like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. And I was like, I thought you saw I was getting in the car. And he was like, no. So I'm like, okay, so you didn't listen for a door slam, even though that was the only door open. And then he drove silently, and then we were, like, laughing about it in the back. Kobe thought it was hilarious because he's like, that was such a subdued scream. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, it's like the Canadian version of this where, like, instead of freaking out, you're just like, That was so polite. And I was like, I don't know if it was polite. And so we're, like, laughing about it, and then we get to the destination, and he's like, again, I'm really sorry about that. And I was like, okay, no worries, I'm fine. But I was like, but it was bad driving, so, like, I would not give him a good rating.
I mean, was his driving bad, or was it just the pickup that was bad?
It was just that, but it was like, he was clearly not attentive if he didn't even notice that the door wasn't closed, And I was like, we were debating, and it was, like, on Kobian's account, so I wasn't going to rate it. He was like, well, I'll give him a bad rating for you. He shouldn't be leaving my friends out of it.
Guest?
Yes.
Oh.
And so I was like, I don't know, I'd give him a 2, I guess. And then we're like, but does that make him lose his job? Like,
no. It's not good though. You don't want to do a low rating unless there's a reason.
Well, that's the only time I've ever given someone below 4.
That's dangerous though. Like she could have fell out the car and gotten run over by the back tire.
I'm not saying she shouldn't give him a low rating. I'm saying this is the circumstance where if he's doing something bad and doesn't apologize.
He did apologize. It was just okay, but if I'm rating you, you're careless. So
did he seem freaked out by it? Because I would have been freaked out if that were me.
Well, I've done that before with my mom, where she was. I thought she was in the car.
What rating did she give you? That's the answer.
I thought she was in the car, but she was entering it really slowly, putting her bags in or whatever. And I started driving, but I stopped instantly. I was she made one noise, and I was like, "Oh, you're not in the car." Because I didn't start driving fast because I had passengers getting in the car. And so the fact that I had to scream multiple times and he didn't just put the brakes on right away was are you high? Are you on something?
Right.
Or are you just dumb? Because neither of those are good.
Well, I don't think I would have given him a 1, but I probably would have been a 2.
So you think a 2 is the right rating?
Probably. Just because that's so unsafe.
Yeah.
What if something happened? And what if he's doing it to other people?
Right. And because he didn't seem freaked out, he was just oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's why I was is he on drugs? Or has he been drinking? Because the normal reaction would be oh my God, sorry.
Yeah. I'd be freaking out.
Yeah.
So what did you guys rate him?
We rated him a 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel a 3 might have been more fair because he did
3
apologize.
is in the middle.
Well, yeah, but he loses. But 5 stars is this person's worth hiring, and below that is you basically saying you're gonna reduce their capability of getting rides. So it's not really
but a 3 is oh, this wasn't a very good ride. A 2 is I could have gotten my leg ripped off because of you.
Yeah, but you have to think of what is it going to do to his average? So do you want his average to go down?
But at the same time,
how much?
We don't know that he hasn't done that to other people.
Well, yeah, but then that's their responsibility to rate accordingly.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can tell by his rating, if his rating's a little low, then you would want to put it lower. Then the 2 would be appropriate. Right. It usually says when you get.
I know, but I didn't get it the car, so.
I think you did fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it probably won't make a huge difference one way or the other.
If you're a Lyft driver, tell us what we should have rated you, or what Erica should have rated
you before. How did you react?
There's be somebody out there.
Everyone's a Lyft driver.
Did I say Lyft or Uber?
You said Lyft.
Okay.
We had a breakfast delivery this morning. That was a little weird.
From Lyft?
No, from Postmates, but I just I love not dealing with breakfast and having it delivered. I think I have a problem.
Adam doesn't like going out at all.
Well, I know that, but I think breakfast is the only thing I would never get delivered.
Well, the problem, it's not, I would like to go out, and I do like when you make food. I like both of those things, but you've been getting up so much later, and I wake up and I'm I want to eat something in the next 45 minutes, so if I wait for you, I usually wait 15 minutes for you to wake up, and if you don't, then I order it. Mm-hmm. So if you get up faster...
No, but sometimes I wake up enough, or I have in the past, but he's been so obsessed with this one restaurant.
With the egg sandwich?
With the egg sandwich at Le Mill. Not Le Mill itself. I'm not obsessed with Le Mill.
But anyway, so he, in the past, I've been do you want to go anywhere? No. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're getting...
You haven't asked in a month. I would
Yeah, I know.
Well, because now your love affair is with the sandwich, so he's given up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's not my fault you stayed up till 3 a.m. playing a video game.
Faroon.
Mm-hmm. It's not a video game, it's Faroon.
No.
So
it's on the Switch. It's only $10 and you get 4 games with it.
Oh wow, that's a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm more than happy
Link,
to go out.
But a woman.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get to shoot arrows?
It's
no, you just run into people.
Everyone thought, not everyone, but many people thought The Legend of Zelda was when they first played it. They thought, oh, that's Zelda. But it ain't Zelda, that's Link. The title's confusing. They just didn't want to put a woman in the lead.
Yeah, I know. I know. Down with the patriarchy.
But there's that one developer who hacked the ROM for his daughter so she could
play as Zelda, yeah.
But now it's unnecessary because Faroon exists.
Yep.
Faroon. Am I doing it? I
think it's Faroon. I think it's Fairune. So Faroon.
Faroon. Okay. All right. That's better because then it doesn't sound like the fart noise from Everybody Farts or whatever that. No, that's Everybody Poops. The Gas We Pass. That's the book.
I'm not familiar.
You are because we talked about
who's getting really hot, so I think it's time for some questions.
Actually,
you didn't even yoga today.
I forgot, though. When Richard was saying faggot earlier, I remembered Randy Rainbow. So I feel like I have to mention this because I would like people to weigh in and say, well, I don't know what I want you to say.
I think you got... Okay, so an old woman came up to him thinking that he was Randy Rainbow. Do you know who that is?
No.
He's a YouTube guy who during the election, he edited a lot of the interviews with the Trump family and stuff to be him being the interviewer. And then he would edit them in a way that was like really funny, just making fun of the family, basically.
I feel like I'm like being critical of Randy Rainbow, and it's going to come back to haunt me
now
later.
he does like musicals. Like he takes a popular song, and parodies it for whatever the administration's doing. Anyway, an old woman approached Adam and said she thought that he was
like 60.
Randy Rainbow, and he's like, no, I'm not. And so he asked me if he looked like him.
It's like, you look so much like Randy Rainbow.
And I said no, but they have sharp features. They both have sharp features, and they're both pasty white. So
yeah, I mean, I can see some of the similarities, but I wouldn't make that mistake just seeing his face.
yeah, you guys don't look alike. You just have similar features.
Yeah, and so I think it was just this air of homosexuality about me that has apparently developed. So I'm wondering, am I a lot gayer than I used to be? It might be the drag race, but the funny thing is
his face is much gayer than yours.
Well, I think his face is naturally gay, or at least it is in those pictures. But and he is Randy Rainbow. That's
It's his real name,
right?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's his actual name. Yeah.
Well, but it's probably like Ronald Rainbow or
no, I think it's Randy.
But why is his last name Rainbow?
That's just his family's name.
What is Randy
I've
short
never heard
for?
anyone
I don't think Randy's short for anything.
Randy. Randy is a given name and a pet name. Randolph.
Randolph.
So he could be Randolph Rainbow.
I don't think he is. Like I have a cousin named Randy.
That's why it reminded, because I was like, I thought it sounded familiar when she said it, and I was thinking of Rainbow Randolph from Death to Smoochie, which I'm the only one who knows what that is, I think.
I know what it is. I just never saw it.
Well, knows what that reference is. And yeah, that movie came too late, late. It was a good movie.
That was Robin Williams, right?
Yeah. Danny DeVito's, standard, we're going to kill someone film. I love them. It's murder comedies. They're great. Just like you like, real murder analysis, Richard.
I realized that my obsession with real murders has been developing for a while.
With Jeffrey Dahmer?
2 years ago, I was really obsessed with Mary Kelly's death. She's the one who was murdered by Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
And I was very fascinated with it. And now I've just been reading about murder and stuff. Now I'm reading about cannibalism.
That's what happens when you live with me.
Okay.
Did you know that mother spiders there are specific species of mother spiders that will have their babies or whatever, and then they'll lay on top of the babies, and then the babies crawl all over the mother and eat her.
Oh.
So why did she let them do that?
That's what real love is.
Because
It's not smart.
Because they need food to grow.
Well, once she's dead, they're going to need more food. They're just going to keep
I know, but they
doing
grow enough and then they go away and they're able to do their own thing.
I don't think I'd have kids if that's what's going to happen.
Wow.
Anyway, we can move on.
Questions at awkwardhuman.com.
Yeah, that's where
it is hot in here.
That's where you ask them. That's what you do if you want to ask a question. Although I do want to mention, 509 awkward too. Also phone number for texted calls. So that person. So the last 2 weeks we've had somebody texting us. I want to mention this just in case this is confusing for anybody. We've had someone texting us. It starts with, "Hello, Adam. I have a question that requires an urgent reply." And I didn't see this because it came in like right after we checked because that's when time worked, I guess. And so I said I apologized for not getting to it in time because it was urgent. And then I asked, "What's the question? If you still need any help." And I got, "Thanks for reaching me." And I said, "You're welcome. Do you want to ask a question, though?" "Yes, I do have a question to ask," they said. And anyway, it goes on for a while where we didn't get the question. So this has been going on for like 3 weeks. I guess it wasn't that urgent, but yeah. So we now actually have we actually have the question. I finally got the question.
Oh,
like this happened while we were talking, because I asked one more time, "What's the question?" before we started. So I feel like we should
go for it.
Answer it. So, okay, Erica, you're the first reader, which means I can sneak this in right now.
Okay.
They say, my question is simple. How do you ask someone you've only met a few days ago perhaps, politely for money?
Don't.
Yeah, I mean, that was my thought.
At this point, it's been more than a few days, though, right? Because it was like 3 weeks ago that they started contacting you.
Yeah, that was my thought too. I think we need to ask them what it's for.
And how did they meet? Did they meet at a networking event where they have a startup and the people there were there to fund startups? Because that would be okay.
Yeah.
Any other circumstance, though, probably not.
No, don't ask relative strangers for money unless you're homeless.
Or if it was like an Indiegogo or Kickstarter get together and everyone's asking each other for money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if it's a situation where you have where you like just met your estranged father and he turns out to be a millionaire and you need like $20 to go to a concert?
They would
$20.
mention estranged father in the question because that's very relevant to the awkwardness of the situation.
This person doesn't seem to be mentioning many details. It took 3 weeks to get the
father.
question when I asked explicitly for the question multiple times, so I don't know. But I asked, can you provide some details about who you're asking, why, and approximately how much? So I guess we could just come back to this later and see if we have more information.
Okay.
I mean, I guess if they were like trying to go to a vending machine and they were like, oh, I don't have $1, then I don't think it's that awkward. Just be like, hey, do you have $1? I'm like really craving
then you wouldn't have known the person for a few days. You would have just met them in that moment.
Yeah,
maybe not. Like maybe it's a new hire at work.
Richard, if this was an urgent problem and it was about a vending machine, they're still waiting at that vending machine with that person not sure how to finish this conversation. They've been stuck there for weeks.
I don't think that's what it is. I would guess the amount is $1,000 to $10,000. If I had to guess,
I was thinking somewhere between $500 and $1,500.
Wow.
Well, we may never know, but we may also know in like 5 minutes.
Don't ask strangers for money unless it's like business.
I mean, I don't think they're a stranger. I think it's like a new friend. But
either way,
you can't call them a friend.
I'm calling them a stranger because for a few days, like, you're not a friend. You're an acquaintance at best.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll check back in and see if there's an update soon. Since this is a text.
I've had friends ask me for money, and I'm like, no. So,
So, I don't like lending people money. I'd rather I don't know. Pay them.
Like, I'll buy you a meal, but I'm not paying your rent.
Or like help.
Sorry.
Yeah, I just when I have to remember to get paid back, like if it's anyone in this room, it's a different story. But if there's like, for them, I don't know if someone's asking to borrow money from me. Generally speaking, I'm going to feel uncomfortable with it because if they have to ask and I haven't offered, it usually is somebody that I don't think will pay me back, and I don't want to lend it to them. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like to help. That's just a situation where it gets really weird, and I'd rather not be involved with debt circumstances.
Also, being asked for money from someone you've known for a couple days is like the reddest red flag that has ever been.
Yeah, but it could be a very oh my God, I can't talk today. It could be a very legitimate situation. It could be not that. Too, I guess we don't.
I just feel like how have you exhausted all your options that you're asking a stranger for money?
I don't know. I mean, if that is the case, that there's no one else to ask, then that definitely goes into the red flag territory, perhaps. But we'll find out. We'll find out what happens.
Maybe.
In the
Good
meantime,
luck, sir or madam.
Yeah, we don't know. In the meantime, though, Erica, what's our actual first question?
Comes from a 24-year-old male who says, "Hi. I listen off and on to Awkward Human, and when the mood strikes and the topics interest me, I love it."
Oh.
Great.
What do you not love?
Endorsement.
How can we make this better for you?
I recently started binging another podcast called Other People's Lives. The description is as follows. Phone calls with anonymous strangers found on the internet. A podcast by @Jose Santago and @Greg Dybeck. Those are their Twitter handles.
Santagato.
They have... Okay,
I've never heard that before.
They have episodes from people who behave as children with their partners to furries and everything in between. Certainly eye-opening and presents interviews with people that otherwise I'd not discuss such matters with. Can't remember if you really would interview other podcasters about their show, but having them on as guests might be pretty cool.
All right, let's stop there for a second to address that because this next part is unrelated.
Okay.
As it says. Unrelated, actually. We definitely have other
Podcasters
podcast
on.
guests on. So if they're not too good for us, I don't see why not. What does everyone think?
Yeah, that's
Seems relevant.
That's fine.
I feel like this guy is like, your show's good like most of the time, not always. I'd be more interested in listening if you did a crossover with this other podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So make that happen. I'll listen to that episode. It's like he's trying to curate the show to his taste.
Well, sir, you have their Twitter handles. Why don't you tweet at them that they should get in contact with us?
Actually, that's
something.
a good idea. Tell
Like,
them,
oh my God, I
You'd
love
be
you guys and I
perfect for
love
this
this show. You
podcast.
guys should do a crossover.
make an introduction.
Do a crossover event.
Well, this is interesting.
That's-
Shockhammer.
It's all the rage right now.
So Mr. Santagato has 725,000 followers.
Santa Gato?
Santa
That's what it
Gato.
says. Like Santa and cat.
Santa Gato. That's beautiful.
Mhm.
Saint Cat.
I was thinking of Santa Claus, but that makes more
No.
sense. Saint Cat, cool. Actually, that's kind of fun.
Hola, Santa Gato.
But then Greg only has 3,000 followers. Like,
He's less
Joe,
popular.
help your friend. I mean, if
Well, how many people is Joe following?
he's following 122 people, and Greg is following 357
Adam,
people.
how many Twitter followers do you have?
Like 15,000 or something.
Well, this could be the exact same situation with us, where someone would be like, ugh, Erica only has like 250 Twitter followers. Adam, help her get more followers. So what you're describing is not weird at all.
Well, yeah, I guess.
It's like the same ratio.
Yeah, but why is Joe...
Maybe Joe used to be a blogger for a very popular
It looks
website.
Like, it looks like he's a Twitch streamer and a YouTuber.
There you go.
Yeah.
And from what I can tell, he seems to be pretty fit, so that might have something to do with it too. I don't know. I'm just looking at a thumbnail. Anyway, we'll see what we can do.
We'll get back to you, Jay.
No, set it up.
Mr. J.
Set it up.
Mhm. But anyway, unrelated.
Unrelated, but I was at the emergency room keeping a friend company. A couple came in with their dog, Wiener or something, and they had a pink jacket and sweater. Mind you, the emergency room waiting area is more or less full with people standing. They decided to sit down and give their dog a seat. I turned to my friend and said, "God damn it," which she responded with, "Yep, that sums up this experience." Immediately thought of that damn dog from a few years ago and the Sega.
Yeah, so
What?
I was going to ask who remembers this, but then I remembered, we have a database of all the questions that I can actually search now. So I searched for the word Sega, and it only comes up with this question. So
Does he
I don't
mean
know
like
what
something
this
in
is.
pop culture.
No, I think he's... Well, according to Adam, he's probably...
Well, it sounds like he's
referencing something that we talked
on the
about.
Yeah, but
podcast,
according
yeah.
to me, I'm thinking maybe this
That's
is
what
a
I was
famous
thinking,
dog.
Yeah, well, so that maybe I was thinking about it wrong, and you guys are right. So let's Google Sega dog from a couple of years ago.
Those words.
Sega Toys unveils overly cute robot dog that responds to what? People sitting? Commands. Okay. Immediately thought of that damn dog from a few years ago and the Sega.
Did he sit on a Sega?
Well, damn dog from a few years ago and the Sega.
Yeah.
But what is and the Sega?
Like the Sega that was involved with the dog. Maybe they had a relationship?
The Sega Genesis?
I'm gonna have
The Sega Dreamcast?
I don't know. The problem with this new system, I realize, is that it's actually hard to reply to people, so I have
The
to figure
Sega
out how to
CD?
deal with that. Actually, I just figured out how to deal with
Wait,
it.
was the Sega CD a thing? Is that real, or am I thinking of something else? Because
Yeah,
wasn't
no, it's real.
Dreamcast CD?
No, the Dreamcast, was on I assume. Oh no, that was CD. That was the CD on the Dreamcast. But the Sega CD was the one that came in between the Genesis and the Dreamcast, I think.
Oh.
And it was like a lot of people really loved that system, and there were some good games that they have since re-released on other systems. Like I think Lunar Silver Star Story was a re-release that came out again after on.
Is that the one with those like jesters flying around in the sky? No, it doesn't matter.
I don't know, but that the new version of Lunar had like a
I'm thinking Knights.
one of the characters was voiced by someone in a boy band, and they had like a couple of musical numbers in it, which was really surprising, and I loved when I was a kid. But now I look back on it, and I was like, this is really cheesy. But it's like it was interesting. It hadn't been done before.
Well, when you write us back about our co-hosts that are going to join us, you can tell us about the pink dog and the Sega.
Oh, it was a pink dog.
No.
No, it was a damn dog.
Oh, okay.
Oops.
Yeah, we have a means of actually getting in touch.
Can I ask an unrelated question?
Yeah.
What is this Yanni and Laurel thing?
No, you cannot ask about that. We're not talking about it.
But I don't know what it is.
People can't tell the difference between what one or the other sounds like.
Is this like the gold rush?
Yes, it is like that. We're not having this conversation. I'm so sick of this shit.
Clearly, I haven't been paying attention to the
We explicitly already did not talk about it on Supercharged. We're not going to talk about it here. I will explain it to you later, or Richard can, because he has more tolerance for it.
Yes, but you're right. It's the red, gold, blue, white dress.
Yeah. Okay. In a very no. Okay, so our next question, which I accidentally assigned to myself.
But have you guys seen the is this Beyonce or Ben Stiller photo?
No.
It's this weird photo. It's all like gold or whatever. And if you look at it, it's Ben Stiller. But if you squint your eyes,
Really?
it's Beyonce. It's so weird.
Like, for real, you get confused.
Yeah, it's funny.
What is reality? Is what that's the theme of this decade.
Yeah. He's squinting his eyes.
I don't get it. That's okay. Come on. That's not a photo of either of them.
No, I didn't say it was a photo of them. I said it's a picture.
But it looks like an X-ray.
Yeah. So like if you squint your eyes, you'll
like
see
a machine
Beyonce.
learning algorithm did some work on it.
No, I just see Ben Stiller.
Oh.
I don't know what it is for sure, but okay. Well.
Oh. she did it.
It's I mean, I don't know if it really looks like Beyonce, but
smiling.
it definitely
She starts smiling.
It's so weird. It's like a transformation. I wouldn't have thought Beyonce.
Weird. You can see the illusion by just looking at it. It totally makes sense. Anyway, this is in the show notes now. So.
But I can't see the teeth when I just look at it like this, and then the teeth appear.
Okay, I'll show you where the teeth are when we're not doing the podcast.
See, Erica just opened up a can of worms.
I didn't even know I was doing that.
I think we're just like constantly just spilling worms everywhere during this show. So our next question comes from Nelly, who's a guy, just which will, I believe, be explained at some point.
Well, it is getting hot in here.
Nelly did that?
Didn't he?
I think so.
I don't know. I know one song that Nelly did, presumably based on what this question says, but anyway, not about Nelly. Nelly writes, "Gonna just get this out of the way up front. I'm a plot calculator at a local franchise of pet cemeteries in Virginia. If you Google it, please don't say the name on the show. My boss has never..."
Calculator?
Yeah. Well, I think most of this gets explained.
Okay.
My boss is never gonna hear it. However, I don't want to get bit in the butt by SEO over it. Anywho, it goes like this. Pets come in different ways. I'm assuming to the cemetery. Some people buy plots ahead of the big day to reserve a spot for one reason or another. Isn't the big day a wedding?
This is the big death day.
I guess. Some people do it like they're collecting dog and cat corpses. Others just want something close to the parking lot because they don't want to walk or want everyone to see they're the saddest over their pet. I'm jaded from this job and just decide it's for the dumbest reason or reasons when I don't know. I don't know why we need pet cemeteries, what we need pet cemeteries for, in my honest opinion. We have backyards, oceans, and ovens, for fuck's sake.
Isn't it illegal to bury a pet in the backyard?
I don't know.
Ocean?
I mean, it's illegal to bury a human in the backyard too, but people do it.
Well, that's more of a murder thing, right?
Sometimes it's just Amish.
Oh. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it is or not. That was just the first thing that came to mind.
I got murder on the mind.
You got what?
Don't come at me. That's not circumstantial evidence for anything.
Oh, you have murder on them. Okay, I just didn't know what you said. Yeah, but you just went there, so okay. No one's coming at you, Richard.
You can't use that in a court of law.
Anyway, it's just like the economy happened, and now I work in another universe where the world's on fire, but the most important event every day is some dog or cat corpse. The condition these things come in, also, you wouldn't believe. Sometimes we get just pieces of the animal. I have a work friend, Sven, who keeps me sane. We would never hang out if it wasn't his this is hard to read. If it wasn't for this dumb job, Sven is bisexual and flirts a lot. That's kind of unrelated, but it helps me not go crazy. I don't want to date a girl and tell her this is this is what I do. But you feel unwanted sometimes when it's like that. Sven gives me a confidence boost, but he's addicted to the opera, and no, none of that for me. Thank you very much. Oh, and
what are you saying?
So if he didn't like the opera, you'd totally be down to suck his dick? Like, what are you talking about?
You're like, it's unrelated. I'm looking for a girl.
No,
but...
he's saying they would hang out, but they're like not friends. But also he flirts with them. It's confusing.
He keeps talking about Sven in the
he's saying like not for me. Like I don't want to date him.
Because he's like, I can't find a girl, but Sven's there.
But he's addicted to the opera, and no, none of that for me. Thank you very much. That sounds like it's the opera. I think grammatically that still works. I don't know. I have to assume. I mean, although, like, you know, a blowjob's a blowjob, right? Mm-hmm. Or is it a mouth's a mouth? I don't know.
A mouth is a mouth.
Yeah.
A hole is a hole.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and my name is Nelson, but everyone calls me Nelly because I guess I wouldn't go to sleep when I was little unless pimp juice was on a loop. Well, so my boss has a own your mistakes policy, which means if you fuck up, you have to clean up after yourself. Sometimes it works out a different way, though. My job is really boring because I just assign all the pets to plots. Sometimes we have walk-ins and the rest are reserved. The computer glitched and I accidentally had a dog buried with someone's bird, and they found out when the gravestone guy came in and bulldozed the bird's gravestone to make way for the dog. This did not go over well, but it was a database error and not my fault. Still, it's my mess to clean up, and I don't know what the fuck to say to these pet mourners who are both very unhappy, so please help if you can. I'm assuming it was a computer glitch is something that occurred to you. So what else?
I don't know, that's it. I mean, what can you do? You just apologize.
I think you have to sit there and let them just like yell at you.
Yeah.
Because they both paid already. Like I'm assuming if you could give them a refund that would have come up. So you just have to sit there and take it? I don't know. I mean, like, it's not, if they don't get a refund, what are they going to do? Not come back to the pet cemetery?
But was the dog buried there?
Yeah. So the dog and the bird are buried, but now only the dog's on the tombstone. So the bird owners feel like ripped off. They could be like, I'm going to take my bird back and unbury him and go bury him somewhere else.
Ew, they should just cremate it.
I don't know how much of that bird's still there.
Yeah,
right.
It's probably in a box.
Well, I guess it's like, I guess that you kind of have to like mediate between these two people. They probably are bonding over hating you right now, so that's good. Mm-hmm. They like each other enough, and say, do you want to share the pet plot together, and we can get the headstone put back on free of charge, obviously, because it was not your fault.
Yeah, but can he even make the decision? So the thing is, I don't think that this person should be the one responsible for doing all this stuff.
Oh, I don't either, but
he's not that person.
Out of his paycheck.
It needs to come from them. How is he going to offer refunds to these people when all he does is decide where these pets are buried?
Yeah, I mean, if he's just playing interference so the boss doesn't have to deal with it, and the boss can say you're dealing with it even though it's not your fault, like that's the boss's prerogative, unfair or not. So Nelly has to do this if the boss says so, or maybe not have a job anymore, which may not be the worst thing from the way this is written. Nevertheless, I mean, like, in terms of offering a refund or whatever, like, I think you need to talk to your boss about what those options are. I mean, like, what you're allowed to do, so you can offer that or not offer that, and then so you're not like preferably not going back and forth being, let me talk to my manager, because no one loves hearing that. But if the boss is like, oh, if you give a refund, it's coming out of your paycheck, like that's a place where you should be arguing, because if it is indeed a computer glitch and not your fault, which I'm not saying you're lying, but sometimes sometimes things happen and there's no way of proving it's a computer glitch, so you might be in a tough spot there. Or it seems like a glitch, but you just made a mistake. It seems like a pretty easy well, actually, that should be a computer glitch, because if there's already a pet in there, so there's something wrong with the software if it lets you put another pet in there without, like, doing a, hey, there's already something buried here thing. Because, I don't know, maybe, like, sometimes you bury two pets in, I don't know how it works. Anyway, why do we have pet cemeteries, though?
Because people want to bury their pets.
Yeah, but that seems like really bad for I mean, like, we have a limited amount of things we can put in the ground. We already put a lot of garbage in there. We already put a lot of people in there. I feel like we need more people. We need less people cemeteries.
Well, but you could say the same thing about people. Why aren't they getting cremated?
I feel like once you've been buried for a while, though, like you should just have to go away, and then someone else can get buried there because it's like you're decomposed. Like, what do you need to be there for anymore?
You mean like those graves that are like buried in 1893?
Yeah, just like go have a memorial plaque. Like you get to
who is visiting you anymore?
I mean this is actually a stupid thing that I'm saying anyway because people should just get cremated and thrown away. You don't matter anymore. You're dead.
Right, but so then those people could do the same with their pets, but they're not. Yeah. So it's the same problem.
Yeah, we need like an online cemetery where people can put memories of somebody and visit those because that's what lives on after, not your like fucking your body. Page? Yeah, but not that because that. Oh god, we saw a commercial for Facebook yesterday that's like, we care about your privacy. I'm like, fuck you, Facebook. Just shut the fuck up. They're bad. Everyone knows they're bad, and like them trying to play like they give a shit is just patronizing.
Yeah, no, I think everyone should just turn their pets into diamonds.
I mean, it's expensive and uses a lot of energy, but it would be better for environmental purposes.
Yeah, Rocco's going to be a diamond.
Are you going to wear him?
Yeah.
Well, we should figure out what we're going to make him into. I mean, I'm going to try to invent an eternal life for dogs first, or at least make him an AI.
Look at him, he's so tiny.
I mean, honestly, I could probably program an AI that's like Rocco.
I don't want that.
Well, I know you don't.
That is not appealing to me. Having an AI pet?
Well, only if it's physical. I wouldn't want it in a computer.
Yeah,
I've done that before. It's just, and then you like forget about it, and it just sits there and pees on itself.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I think we're done with this question.
Good luck.
Yeah, I mean,
Nelly.
I think you just have to sit there and listen to them whine.
And also just take off all your clothes.
Like Adam said.
Well, yeah, I mean, in regards to those things, yeah.
Because a mouth is a mouth.
Don't do that. That was for Sven. That wasn't for the customer.
Yeah, if you're feeling stressed out, though, totally let Sven blow you. Like, what if he's into it, why not?
I don't think opera is a deal breaker.
Not for a blowjob, maybe for a boyfriend.
So our next question is from a male who is 17. I'm just going to preface this by saying, if you aren't Adam, you are probably going to be really bored, and I'm sorry.
Ugh.
I've always wanted to be on this show, but I've never really had anything, so here's something tangentially related. I guess the story starts out when I got my neuropsych. Basically, I have ADD, anxiety, depression, and recall issues.
Oh, I didn't notice that before. So that's short for neuropsychiatrist. How's that going? I've always wanted to go to one, and I haven't been able to find one who will take my insurance. So I'm curious how it's different, because it feels like it should be.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk more about the neuropsychology and less about my problems.
I kept getting drugs, and I would be asked if I felt anything different. I can't remember if it was because I couldn't remember not being on that drug, or if I was just attributing any changes in mood to other variables. This leads me to now. I am now on Paxil, Seroquel, and lithium, the latter being the newest, and I think that is when my memory loss started. I think I used to have a pretty good memory, but now I can't mentally recreate any past dates. Now I'm also starting to wonder why I'm taking Seroquel and Paxil. Obviously, it's to treat my mental problems, but I can't remember what life was like before taking them. I don't really have a question, I'm just confused and needed to organize my thoughts. You don't have to put this on the show, but you're free to if you need some filler. Also, I'm barely staying awake to write the story, so I'm sorry if my writing is shit. Also, sorry again, everyone.
Oh.
Okay, so I feel like that last part of the question was you being depressed still.
Oh.
Because it's, I mean, like, I think you don't know what your question is, but I think your question is what, and the reason I wanted to include this today, even though we actually are we have a lot, is that you're on a bunch of medication and you don't seem to want to be, and you are kind of forgetting who you are. And I think at 17, that is really young to be on all this stuff. Like, it. What are the things that are being treated? ADD, anxiety, depression. I'm really confused why they're giving you so many sedatives.
Right.
I mean, Seroquel is a sleepy drug. Lithium, I don't know everything about lithium.
Doesn't that just make you kind of like a complacent zombie?
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, like, I don't remember if it's like actually sedating or it just makes you essentially catatonic. But pseudo. But Seroquel is that, and Paxil is diazepam. So again, not gonna keep you awake. Usually, when you have ADD, you don't if you have ADD and anxiety, you would have something that might help you calm down, but also something that tends to have a norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor or an agonist for norepinephrine, which is basically a type of adrenaline. I don't really know a good way of putting that simply, but but it keeps you awake. It's a stimulant. Generally, if you have ADD, you're on a stimulant. If you have depression, this drug cocktail seems really weird for those symptoms. Honestly, it sounds like
we're not medical professionals, so
we are not. But I'm not sure the neuropsychiatrist knows what they're doing, because if you have ADD, anxiety, and depression, I'm not a big fan of SSRIs, but the fact that hasn't come up at all is weird.
Well, you don't know. He's just told us what he's on and that he's tried different things.
Yeah.
I would say
that's true.
If I don't know that it necessarily works, but I know a lot of people go through like hormonal treatments, I guess. Like Suzanne Summers is big on that. She's kind of a whack job, but a lot of people kind of like prescribe to that kind of stuff. You can see like a holistic person who doesn't necessarily go for all those crazy medications. Subscribe, yes. Crazy medications that fuck with your brain and deal more with like your hormonal stuff. Supposedly a lot of people think that it works for them, so I don't know, try something different if this is making you feel like a zombie.
And I mean this not as a counter argument, but also placebos work really well for a lot of people too. So yeah, whether or not that Richard's thing is like actually a medical marvel or what you're suggesting, not your thing, you don't personally do it, I know, but it could be the placebo effect or it could not be, but a lot of the times the placebo effect is actually really helpful in certain psychological issues. So you have to kind of go into this, like it requires a whole performance on the medical staff's part. But there have been a lot of interesting studies on how effective it can be. And it had actually helped a kid with ADD who's much younger than you. I saw an example of that. A lot of this is anecdotal, and there's still a lot of research being done, but the placebo effect has obviously been pretty significant over the years. Anyway, we're not going to be able to obviously tell you, like,
I just figured since he's seeing a neuropsych, it sounds like he probably has money and that he can...
Well, he at least has insurance.
Yeah, and he can, like, try different people, professionals.
My other question was, so he's 17 and he says he's been on all these different drugs and they keep being like, what works, whatever. When you're that age and, like, your brain's still developing and you're growing and everything, isn't it possible that, like, he could be changing while the drugs are changing? And so, like, maybe what worked a year ago wouldn't work now, or, like, vice versa?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of drugging children. I feel like once your brain's developed, you can safely go on stuff. But, like, the ADD drugs in kids, for example, are that freaks me out a little bit. It's really hard to answer this, I guess, non-question because we don't know what you want exactly. But also, like, I'm not sure what the problem is other than, and like, we know you have these symptoms, but, you know, why are you depressed? Do you know? What causes anxiety? When
are you working with a therapist?
Surface? Yeah. What, you know, what have you been on prior to this? So I'll send, I think your email came in with this, so I'll try to get in touch with you, but if I don't, because I forgot / I couldn't find anything, please, when you hear this episode, let us know more details and we'll try to help.
Again, we're not medical professionals.
Yeah, but I can give suggestions on what to ask the medical professionals about. That I feel very comfortable doing. But on top of all that, sorry that you're feeling terrible and that you are on all these drugs that I think probably you don't need. But don't take that as don't stop taking anything because I just said that, or because that's my opinion, because one, I don't know enough to say that definitively, and two, you never ever want to stop taking drugs just suddenly, whether they're prescribed or not. You gotta taper off that shit. Otherwise you can have some really bad, unpleasant side effects, and you don't want to go there, especially with something as powerful as lithium. Seroquel will probably just be more awake. But anyway, Yeah, we got one more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is me. Matthias wrote in to share a news story out of Thailand. And that
Thailand. I've never heard it pronounced that way.
I guess I was just going too quickly. The article says, and we'll have a link to this in the show notes / in his question, I guess. They want to send me notifications. Elite readers, no thank you. I've never heard of this blog before. Anyway, penis whitening is now a very popular trend in Thailand.
No, thank you.
The treatment uses pigment blasting laser. Pigment blasting laser. No, that's not what it says. Okay. For those who want to banish dark parts of their nether regions.
Oh.
All right. So who's seen a cow pattern dick before?
What is a cow? Oh, you're talking about like two different colors.
Where it has the dark.
It's not
splotches.
splotch. Oh, I don't think I've ever seen a splotchy one. I've seen it where the tip, not just the tip, not like the head, but like the top part of the penis is one color and then the bottom part is another color. I've seen that.
But that's
not in person.
What Adam's describing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I've never seen a splotchy dick.
I love this. It looks like a pap smear for men. In these photos, a little bit.
Sounds so appealing.
Yeah. That one's great. Oh, okay.
Splotchy
definitely
dick.
Go look at this. If you're listening and not watching, definitely go look at the pictures. These are pretty nice. They're not of penises, by the way. It's completely safe for work. Well, let me just. Yeah, that one's still safe. Yeah, okay. I'm not seeing any dicks in this article. So
I'm like seeing herpes dick. Okay.
Well, so apparently it costs around $680 for 5 sessions, which is, I guess, pretty cheap for 5 sessions, but a lot of money for, changing the color of your penis, maybe? I don't know.
Are you really changing the color or are you just removing splotches?
Well, I think it's more of like, I guess it's not changing the color, it's changing the tone of certain areas of your penis. But this is the thing. I'd like, as weird as this sounds and unnecessary as this sounds, I kind of get it, because I think if you had like a splotchy dick, and it looked a little weird. It's like the whole ugly produce situation where people, grocery stores throw away produce that doesn't look really pretty because people won't buy it. They'll buy the ones that do look good because they're judging on visuals, because what else do they know? But plenty of that food is perfectly fine and can be eaten, should at least be donated or something.
So you're saying this penis should be donated if it's...
No, I'm saying, like, if you whip your dick out for the first time and someone sees it and they're like, oh, I've seen better looking dicks than that. There's spots on this. What does that mean? STD? Is it some... Like, people can definitely make assumptions about this dick, which is otherwise perfectly fine. And it's just visually there's a difference that strikes someone as, I should be careful. Not, or maybe they find it visually unappealing because of the differences. Whatever the case may be, I can understand being that person if they've run into a problem where it's like, ew, I'm not putting that in my mouth or anywhere near me because it has splotches on it. Like, I can understand spending $680 for that procedure. Like, if that was half my hookups where people complain about my dick, I would totally
What
spend
are the side
$680.
effects?
I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine it's that bad, because if it looks like they're just using a laser from a distance. I mean, it's not like lasering with actual where there's a heated needle as well or anything like that. Which I guess is like a double hair removal procedure maybe. But I mean, it doesn't look like doesn't look like anything you would feel. Maybe like a little bit of a burn afterwards. That's the only thing I can think of.
What if it causes fertility issues?
I mean, it could, but I would think they would have to, as long as I would be more worried about the what is it, cartilage in a penis being damaged somehow, like softened up.
Well, I have to say, if you're a man and you're faced with the option of either like getting the splotches removed from your dick or your dick like not necessarily being erect all the time because of it, like that's way more of an issue in the bedroom than splotchy penises.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You
So, but I'm just making guesses. I have no idea if there are side effects.
If it's gonna cause like erectile problems, I don't think it's worth it. Because a lot of the time, like if you're hooking up with people, like you're not people that you're like in a relationship with or whatever, it's gonna be pretty dark when you have sex with them, and they're mostly gonna like grab for it. They're not gonna want to study it. They're not gonna be like, stand over here so I can look at your penis.
Mm-hmm.
But if they grab it and it doesn't get hard, then that's probably gonna turn them off more. So.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think...
Yeah, can you recall the way your hookups' penises looked like?
just the shape.
Yeah.
I don't recall the color or like, I mean, maybe they just didn't have any splodges on them or whatever.
Right.
But like I said, there was usually later at night in the dark.
Right.
And the first thing you do is like you put your hand on the penis. You're not like, all right, take your clothes off. Let me take a look at you.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I've run into it before. But I don't ever remember. I think I've probably seen it more in porn. I don't know if I've ever actually been in the bedroom in a situation where I was like, oh, that doesn't look... I mean, there was one situation, but it wasn't the penis. It was like a pimple or something, and I got nervous, and then I got a rash the next day, but it was just a sweat rash. And I thought I had herpes, and I was like, oh, wow, I'm always telling people herpes is not a big deal, but it feels like a much bigger deal when you got it. Fortunately, still good. But yeah.
Same.
I think, well, yeah, as long as this is working out, I think we're going to be herpes free. So that's I mean, there are a lot of nice things about being in a relationship, like not having to worry about diseases as much. But the the hospital, the Lelux Hospital, who I feel like if they have some English speakers, we should probably try to interview these people. Because they're known for their 3D vagina procedure.
Oh.
3D vagina? Like
they take body fat from a woman, and the woman in the picture does not look like she has any, but
like a reconstruction of the vagina.
They make it plumper. They plump it up.
Yeah, those 2D vaginas aren't a real turn on.
Is a vagina...
Vagina's naturally 3D, just in case you were wondering.
Is a plumpy... Is a plumpy vagina more desirable?
You mean the outside?
It probably feels a little bit better.
Like the lips?
I guess I don't understand where the
cushion
plumpiness
for
is.
the pelvis to thrust into. I don't know. I mean, if porn's an indication,
No.
I always feel like Asian men fuck a little bit more like a jackhammer.
I don't know about that.
Usually the highest
that's what it looks
desirable
like in porn to
quality
me.
is tightness, which has nothing to do with plumpness.
Well, maybe they rejuvenate it and then plump it up, and maybe the plumping up makes the entryway a little bit more.
Oh,
If it was more on the outside, so even if it doesn't, it could create the illusion for the dick of like, oh, there's more outside, so it's a small hole.
So it's a compliment when someone says that's a fat pussy,
I guess so.
because it means
If that's
your
what they're
hole
into, I
is
guess.
shut tighter.
Yeah, they should just really be saying that is a 3-dimensional pussy. You could do that in
All
VR.
pussies are 3-dimensional. All humans are 3-dimensional.
Are they?
Well, I mean, if the Earth is flat and the universe is flat and science is wrong,
Vaginas are flat.
yeah, I mean, we might. It's relative, though. I mean, a pussy's flat from a long distance away.
Right.
If you're watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Although how you're seeing it, maybe through binoculars. If you're watching a pussy through binoculars,
Like I wouldn't
It's
want a
not in
bigger
3
pussy,
dimensions.
but
This
I'd want
procedure wouldn't help.
a bigger butt, probably.
really, you want a
Than
bigger
your
butt?
current butt?
No, I don't want a bigger butt. I'm just saying if I were to choose
Oh, if you had to
between a
pick one.
plumpy
If you
pussy
were a
and a
woman?
plumpy butt.
I
Honestly-
don't want either of those.
I mean, the
I mean, I guess my butt could be a little bigger. I think
No,
it's fine the way
I
it
think
is.
your
But
butt is fine the way it is.
But
My butt is fine the
you don't
way
need
it
to
is.
change
if it was
at all.
bigger, I wouldn't be like mad about it.
And I don't think I want a bigger vagina because I wouldn't want something that's not comfortable in my pants.
Wait, are you mad that my butt's smaller?
No. I mean, it is smaller than what it was before. He used to have a big butt, but
I have a big butt. I had a significantly.
you had a big
fine
white boy butt.
Well, I had a big butt considering I had no butt when I was growing up. But it was, it was like it wasn't too big.
No,
It was just large and in charge.
it was just big for a white boy.
But you liked it, and
Yeah.
now it's gone.
No, I mean, it doesn't bother me that it's gone. It's
Do you
fine.
miss my butt?
No.
I don't feel like I should be here for
Did I
this.
bury it in the pet cemetery?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
want to go visit? Is that where this is going?
Yeah. I think we should set up a visitation for your old butt.
Yeah. Well, but
I don't know how we got
sorely
here.
missed. Through the penis whitening, obviously.
You don't need to whiten your penis. You don't need to plump up your vaginas. They're fine the way they are.
I
Yeah,
love
mean,
the way you say
probably.
vagina.
Yeah. So cool, everybody. Cool. That's
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Awkward Human Survival Guide.
Enjoy your plumpy Birginas.
yeah. Well, now we have an episode title.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
You have a question, story, comment, or whatever for the Awkward Human Survival Guide? We want to hear it. We read everything we get on the show, censored for your privacy if you wish, and might laugh about your problem because tragedy loves humor, but genuinely want to help you out. If you've got something to share with us, even if you think it's stupid, send it in as anonymously or proudly as you wish. You can do all of that at awkward.email. You just go to http://awkward.email. Oh yeah, and watch the videos on YouTube, youtube.com/awkwardhuman.